Hey SketchUp, my name is Ben Hammond. Getting things started here this afternoon. We got some cool tunes and then some cool dudes and dudettes gonna run you through today's episode. But first we got a couple tunes to get things started off here. City breaking down and the camel's back. Don't have to go, cause we just don't know why. You got to see it's appealing to see. Won't get out the county, you better and free. Got a new horizons, ephemeral style. Nearly kind of jam, but never smile. All you got to hear is the message beep. Don't get to kiss, don't get sleep now. Windmill, both the land. Turn together, hand in hand. Windmill, take it on your stride. It's tinkling, falling down. Love together, love is free. Time forever, you and me. Windmill, for the land. Everybody here is loud gas with this ass max, this ass gas, lining up like ass straps. Said ladies, ponies, could track, chuck a little tag. Bumping in the heart of this here, can't be bumping in the heart of this here. Watch me as I gravitate. It's Motown, but it's yo sound, and it's on down, I'm in the place. Fly with us, you don't dump it out, no ground stop. Kill the ink, so don't stop. Get it, pushing all these captains in it. Watch me as I gravitate. I feel good, yeah. Feel good. Windmill for the land. Time together, hand in hand. Windmill, take it on your strides. Tinkling, falling down. Love together, love is free. Time forever, you and me. Windmill for the land. Everybody here. I said, don't stop, get it, pushing all these captains in it. She has a gravity. Stop, get it, pushing all these captains in it. Gravitate, take. I feel good, feel good, feel good. Don't stop, get it. There's no combination of words to put on the back of a postcard. No song that I could sing, but I try for your heart. And our dreams made out of real things like shoebox photographs, sepia tone loving. Love is the answer, at least, to most of the questions in my heart. Where do we go? Why are we here? How come it's so hard? It's not always easy. Sometimes life could be deceiving. Tell you one thing, it's better that we're together, yeah. Oh, it's always better when we're together. We're tuning into the SketchUp live stream together. Oh, better than we're together. Yeah, we're better together. If all of these moments might just find their way to my dreams tonight, I know they be gone. The morning light gon' sing, will bring new things. Tomorrow night you see, they'll be gone too. Too many things we gotta do. All of these moments might just slip into my day-to-day scene. I'll be under the impression it's somewhere in between, with only two, me and you. So many things to do, places we gotta be. Sit beneath the aspen tree. Oh, it's always better when we're together. Yeah, we're looking at stars when we're together. Whoa, baby, baby, better together, yeah. Oh, we're better together. I believe in memories, they look so pretty when I sleep. When I wake up, I won't see sketching up next to me, but there is not enough time, no song I could sing, no combination of words I could say. I tell you one little thing, better together, yeah. Better together, everybody. Virtually or otherwise. Speaking of together, let's bring this crew on here and get things going. My name is Ben. Thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. Have a great day. See y'all next time.
Good cover, Ben.
All right.
There we go. Now we got sound. That was awesome, as always. It was a different vibe today. It was like kind of like, it felt good.
Feeling just chilling by the fire, you know?
That's right.
Chilling by the fire.
That's right. And it's always better together. You know, we are all quarantined and separated from each other, but it's good for us to get together around the campfire here and just chat with each other and listen to music and eat marshmallows. I'm not ever eating marshmallows again, but maybe eating marshmallows.
5 at a time in general.
All right. We're getting some applause from the audience. Everyone, big hand.
Great job.
Hammond. Make sure to follow him. Yeah. Check out his Instagram account. Go buy all of his albums. Buy his concert tickets. Go see his biopic. Like,
buy him a sandwich. Yeah.
All animated in SketchUp, by the way. So
awesome.
Cool. Well, thanks, Ben. I guess we'll see you again next week. You guys come early again next week and see some more Ben.
That's right. Before you go, Ben, I had to let you know our guest Katie says Better Together, her favorite song ever, and your cover was just top notch.
Perfect.
That's how we do.
This conference will be better together with her on screen. So
that's right.
He's a natural. Everyone, Ben Hammond. See you, bud.
Ben.
All right. Hey, everyone. Welcome to the SketchUp Fireside Chat series. We are your host, Aaron and the Goose. And if you're new to the series, welcome back. This is week 6 of our 8-week SketchUp virtual community event. And it's both fun and informative. If you're returning, welcome back around the fire. Put your hands up. Get warm. Yes.
That's right. This is going to be a good show. Today we're going to be talking about some woodworking, and we have an awesome presenter, Katie Mcilveen. So This is her first time presenting to you SketchUppers. So be nice. No, it's going to be fun.
I got a little taste of it, and she's no amateur by any means after seeing what she can do. So
she knows what she's talking about.
She absolutely. Everyone, you're going to love this, especially if you're into anything related to wood. So the format of the show is not your typical webinar. The presentation will begin in about a half an hour. So if you've got better things to do, you're not down with having fun, then set your timer for 30 minutes, come back and see us. As a reminder, today's episode will feature an interview and then a presentation and then community question and answer. The episode is expected to be about an hour and a half long. So pour yourself a nice cup of Joe and get comfortable.
That's right. And if you're experiencing any interruptions with your flow, choppy audio, skipping video, if you click down at the bottom down there, it says get audio video help. You can turn on compatibility mode, which will compress your stream, buffer it a little bit, and get you a smoother experience. We talked to the people at Crowdcast, the platform we're working on, and they actually recommended also just giving your computer a rest. Shut everything else down. Just sit back and relax and enjoy the fireside chat, and don't check out Facebook or don't worry about modeling anything in SketchUp right now. Just pick that up after the webinar's done.
That's right. And don't get it confused. Aaron said compress the stream. Okay, don't confuse that with crossing the stream. You never want to cross the stream.
That's right. Don't cross the streams. That's basic. That's ghost busting 101.
101. Yes, yes. Let's do a little bit of housekeeping. Okay, this is an interactive episode. And how can you participate? Q&A and upvoting. If you look down below, you'll see ask a question. There's currently 6 questions in there. These questions are just for Katie. Right,
and I'm going to stress that right now. I mean, it's awesome you guys are excited. We have 6 questions already. But I know lofting would be cool, but that's not the kind of thing to put into a request here in the Q&A. Katie can't help put lofting into SketchUp, no matter how hard she tries. These are questions for Katie specifically. So take those other questions and bring them to our forum because we would love to hear them. Just not here.
Absolutely. Yeah. Not for Katie. We're not gonna stress her out with those kind of questions. No. That's for the engineering team. Right. There will be a recording available immediately after this event. So when we're done, if you come back to this very same Fireside Chat Series F6 URL, then you will see the recording. So if you're having problems with choppiness, or maybe you're trying to stream, or find out who's the sus, like you could be messing with your speed. So you could always come back and watch the recording. Last piece of housekeeping is the poll. So when the time is right,
it's teasing us.
There it is. Yeah, polls. You see poll with the number 1 down below. Let's click on that and see what happens. This is where you interact. So poll.
All right. This morning we're dipping our toe. We're walking slowly into the waters of woodworking. We want to know how much woodworking you've actually done. Question is, have you ever made furniture? So hop in there and give the appropriate answer. How about you? Are you a woodworker, maker, furniture guy kind of guy, Goose?
You know what? I am an expert at putting together IKEA furniture.
Okay. That's something. I've done a couple pieces, like not big stuff, end tables, that kind of thing. And I know I'm biased, but I do like the ability in SketchUp to. I don't like wasting material because I'm cheap. So the fact that I can go in and build my thing and then actually break it apart into layers, so I can actually see like.
Break it apart into what? You are busted, my man. You are busted.
I said the L word.
You said layers. It's not called layers anyway. Someone tell me what layers are called now in the chat here.
You guys know.
Yes. Here, I'm going to help you guys out here. Yeah. So, Aaron, you got to put $1 in the layers jar.
All right.
Tags. Boom. That's right. That's right.
$1 in the jar.
Wow, what are we up to right now?
I think we could buy a small country. I really got to work on this because I can't. This is killing me. So this is
Okay.
Goose's boat fund right here.
Ah, nice. You know what? Like, it's at least that jar is not as big as the I forgot to save jar. Which, yeah, I could buy a house with that one.
All right, let's check out our polls. Let's see where we're at here.
All right, let's check it out. All right, polls.
How'd that turn out? Wow, we have some multiple time users. Over 60% have built more than one item, one piece of furniture.
We have the right audience here today.
That's all right. That's right.
Yeah. So what do you think would be an appropriate giveaway if we have a bunch of woodworkers in the house?
You know, let's do that. So what's going to happen here is Katie's going to come up in a few minutes and we're going to hang out with her, get to know her, and she's going to do a presentation for us. And at the end of the presentation, she's going to ask a trivia question. Now, if you pay attention and you're the first one to answer that presentation question, you could win a prize. And let's see, what would that prize be, Goose?
Today's prize will be a 1-year subscription Fine Woodworking magazine. It's celebrating more than 40 years of furthering the art and craft of woodworking and fostering a community of dedicated woodworkers. You could win it if you keep your fingers limber and you're the first to answer this question correct. What's so funny?
You got real, was it Don Pardo? Who's that guy? Who
the music does it. It's the music is that Price is Right or something.
Nailed it. Price is Right. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, so that's it's good stuff. It is a good magazine. So you can win a full year of that if you're paying attention.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. What Pablo says?
Right.
OMG, that is a heck of a prize. I had to clean that up for our audience. It's a family-friendly show.
Naughty. All right. So before we bring up Katie, we do want to do one more piece, and that is going to be our
community shout out. That's right. Who are we shouting out?
Oh, there we go.
Who are we shouting out to today?
Whoa. So you're getting choppy. I was like, I had Robo Goose there for a second. So today we're going to take a look at a warehouse user. So we have done a lot of Instagram, that sort of thing. Today we're going to actually look at a guy who is, there we go, sharing a lot of awesome content up on 3D Warehouse, and that is David Heim. So Dave has just some pieces up here. He's also an instructor at SketchUp, but he's also showing a lot of his work and sharing it through 3D Warehouse. So this is really cool because you can actually go download these models, and they're not just pretty models, they're actually models that he has modeled in SketchUp with the interest of building them. So awesome models. If you're a woodworker, want to see how to build a model in SketchUp, check out David Heim's warehouse page.
That's right. You look down below, you can see it says see Dave Heim's collection on the 3D Warehouse. Click on that, it'll take you over to it, but don't get too caught up in it. There's over 600 good models there. Oh wait, not good models. Those models are yes.
Oh, I still love it. It's never going to get old. I'm going to need that in some meetings moving forward after this.
Oh,
awesome
man.
Shout out every once in a while.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of awesome, you know who else is awesome? Our Fireside Chat SketchUppers who have joined us here tonight. In the chat, let us know the last woodworking project that you worked on with the help of SketchUp. Just want to type down here, was it a headboard? I know Jody had a headboard that he worked on. But what else? I don't know. Have you worked on some woodworking projects lately, Aaron?
Yes, actually, I'm right in the middle of building a deck on the back of my house. So I did it all in SketchUp. So I was able to make my drawings that I submitted to the city, got my permit, went smooth, ordered the exact amount of material I needed. That was really nice. I really like when that happens.
That is good. Let's look at what we've got coming through here. We got Ashley built a workbench.
Shelving, bunk bed.
Whoa,
that's big.
Wow, look at it fly.
Spice rack pet. I love it. I love when this goes by so fast we can't read. Whoa. Oh.
Oh man.
Oh. Hey, good job, Larry. Larry said he just finished his deck. I'm hoping to have mine done by middle of next week.
Pantries, timber truss patio, sheds.
I've seen Dave's wallet drawer, and it is slick. It is nice.
I don't know how, but Yan made beer. So awesome.
I guess you can model anything in SketchUp, really, when you get down to it.
That is true.
We like to limit ourselves.
I want to call them all out, but man, I think it's time to call on our guest.
Yeah, good job, everybody. Let's just can we get an applause for the community real quick? That's
absolutely. Good. Bravo, all of you master woodworkers, SketchUp users.
Good job. All right. So that's enough of us. Let's get rolling. Let's get to the why are you guys here? Let's bring on our guest. So she is, like I said, not new to the SketchUp community, but new to Basecamp. So we're really looking forward to getting to know her. From Live Edge Design, we're going to bring on Katie Mcilveen. Ooh.
Oh yeah, Katie, you hopped on so quick.
Woo. She ran up on the stage. Let's go.
Okay.
Welcome, Katie.
Thanks.
How are you doing up in British Columbia, right?
Good. I don't know, it's kind of cloudy today, but it's not super cold.
You don't have ash falling on top of you right now or anything?
No, not right now.
So it's better than Colorado.
But, yeah.
We're not talking about the wood ash. We're talking about ash like fire ash.
Yeah, no.
I don't know how they let us have a fire here in the studio, with all the fire warnings out there.
It's probably against the rules.
Probably.
Oops. Good deal. Welcome, Katie. We just want to kick this off with a couple questions, find out more about you and stuff.
Sure.
All right. Can you share with us 3 things about you that no one here knows? 3
Does that include my coworkers and like my brother-in-law that's watching?
No, how about nothing Goozer I know?
Oh, that's
okay.
That's way easier. Well, we already covered. You're from British Columbia. You work for Live Edge Design.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We might be about there with that list.
3 things. I don't know. Stuff that's not in my presentation.
Sure.
Yes.
Okay. I gotta think of other things then.
Wow, you're already thinking way too much.
I used to co-own a blueberry farm.
Ooh,
that is interesting.
I like blueberries. Yeah.
We drowned in blueberries for many years. Let's see. I don't know.
You know what? We'll take one. The icebreakers are a bit tricky. So.
All right. Well, I'll ask you a little bit more SketchUp-y question.
Okay.
How long have you actually been using SketchUp?
Since 2008. So 12 and a half years. Early 2008.
Awesome.
Wow.
So you've been around a little while. You know your way through SketchUp.
Yeah.
Awesome. Push pull old hat. You're like, yeah.
Oh yeah. I don't even remember what the tools are called anymore because all I use is keyboard shortcut.
The P command.
But yeah.
That's the sign of a master.
I was like, just hit M. I don't know where it is. It's over there somewhere. Just forget about the cards and just use the keyboard.
Just all muscle memory now. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
So Katie, let me ask, if there was one item that you don't have already that you would most like to own, what is that? One item that you don't currently have that you would most like to own?
An electric car.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's nice.
I'm tired of paying for gas.
Yeah. So wait. I'm thinking outside the box here. What about a blueberry powered car?
Oh,
that'd be great. Because then I could see my friends who still own the farm, and I could just have blueberries from them, and that'd be perfect.
That would smell awesome.
That would be for a while.
The exhaust would have to be blueberry juice, and then I could drink that.
Hold on here. I gotta write that down.
Win. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's obviously just because we never thought of that before that it hasn't happened.
Yeah, of course.
Practically happened.
Yeah.
That's right.
So I got a question for you. Are you a big extension user, or would you consider yourself a SketchUp purist?
I'd say probably halfway in between. I've got my core of like probably 4 or 5 that I use a lot. Weld, JF add layer, if I can even remember what the material replacer. Like the ones that I just can't live without. Every once in a while, like what I was watching Tammy's presentation the other day, and I had never heard of one of the ones she used. I was like, why haven't I don't know. There's so many of them.
It's hard to keep on top of. I would give you absolutely.
Yeah. So sometimes when I'm like, there's got to be a better way, then I'll just search and try and wade through the thousands. But often I'll find them from other presentations. And yeah.
That makes sense.
Bubble. Let's do that one later.
That's a fun one. Yeah.
Yeah. I never mastered that one.
No?
Oh, soap bubble's easy. Now you wanna have to work on something, you should go get Flowify. Awesome extension. Yeah. But you got to watch the video.
Yeah. I did a really funky base that was they wanted a pedestal, but they wanted a yin yang on it. So I had to take the shape of the yin yang cut out and wrap it around a pipe. It ended up looking like this really cool twisted ribbon. It looked really cool, but I had to use Flowify for that, and it was a bit of a learning curve, but it worked out great.
That's cool.
Nice. Yeah. Nice. You can see who's the noob of these three. One of these things does not belong here.
Justin just said he loves Flowify, and I'm sure he has a video or two showing how to use it. Because
I think I may have watched his video to learn how to use it.
SketchUp Essentials, if you guys don't already know, that's a good spot to learn.
Mm-hmm.
And Larry suggests that when you do get your electric vehicle, a Tesla Model X, I think that's the SUV one, right?
Yeah, Model X. Oh, I don't know.
Tesla would be nice.
Yeah. You know what? What do you think about the truck, the Tesla truck?
I think it's ugly.
You know, I feel like you either love it or you hate it.
It's polarizing.
Very, very. Yeah. So could you design the Tesla truck in SketchUp?
Yeah.
With your eyes closed,
it's
literally.
So angular.
It is angular.
Okay. I gotta say, so I did a live model of the Tesla truck. It is not as easy as you think, because nothing's on a flat plane.
Yeah, fair enough.
There's nothing that's like, oh, this just tilts up. It doesn't. It tilts like
compound angles and everything.
Yeah.
And leave it to the Italian to point this out. Anthony Ferretti says, so ugly. Right? Italians know design.
I think so too. If somebody gave me one, I would still drive it though.
If someone gave it, okay. So let's say you had this truck and you sat in the truck and you put in some music, right? Like what would be a favorite song from your teenage years that you would still rock out in the Tesla truck?
Oh no,
we're not gonna
hold on. While you're thinking, Katie, I just gotta call out the king of segues, the way that Steve just went from Tesla truck to his next icebreaker without anybody noticing. Great job, Steve.
I would have gotten away with it if it wasn't for this meddling kids.
Sorry. Yeah. Smooth segue. Glad I interrupted it.
Yeah.
Oh, music.
Yeah. So a song from your teenage years that you still rock out to when no one's listening, like maybe with your Tesla truck windows up and you just got it cranked.
Probably Maroon 5 Sunday mornings, and I think it's from my teens, might have been early 20s. I don't remember what year it came out.
Okay, all right.
But yeah, it's really catchy.
I approve. Good deal.
Right. Well, we have come to the point in our get together here where we like to just have a little bit more fun with you, Katie, and we're at that point where we're gonna start game time.
Yeah.
All right. So today we're gonna play a little game called Would You Rather, and that is WOOD. You rather.
Got that.
Again, you're in a unique position because this is fun for us. Some of the guests we've had on, we've been hanging out with them for years, and this is an opportunity for us to play a game and get to know you a little better than we already do. So we're going to hop right in here, and we're going to ask you a couple would you rather questions. You ready?
Maybe.
Are we asking the audience too, or are we just asking Katie?
You guys feel free to chime in. This is an event.
This is going to end up being.
So everyone should know how Would You Rather works, right? We ask a couple of questions. We find out which one takes precedence. Which one is the preferred of these two choices. So question one, Katie.
Mm-hmm.
live edge or milled?
Well, I work for Live Edge. That's not a very Live
We're
Edge.
starting off easy.
It gets harder. It gets harder.
Definitely Live Edge because it adds so much personality to it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes.
Like that.
Yeah.
So again, we're crawling before we walk or run here. So, speaking of which, question number 2: SketchUp or any other software?
SketchUp.
You got that right.
There wasn't a right or wrong. There wasn't a right or wrong there, but yeah.
Normally, would you rather doesn't have a right answer, but that one did.
Yeah.
Next question: mahogany or walnut?
Ooh. Walnut because it grows more locally.
Oh, cheaper, easier to get.
Yeah, and less like ecological impact from shipping it from other countries and stuff like that.
I like it.
See, that's like a woodwork. So full disclosure, I am not a woodworker. I've built things, but it usually is like Doug for Larch number 2 2x4. That's more. That's like my wood. That's my world of wood. Plywood, OBS or OSB. Yeah.
I recently went shopping for live edge wood actually with a friend of mine, and walnut in Colorado is not easy to get. It's beautiful wood, but crazy expensive.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. Looks like over in our chat, walnut's definitely getting shouted out a lot too.
There's some really pretty walnut that has that, like when you get it just at the right time, it's got lots of that, like the sapwood on the outside, and it's like really blonde on the edge, and then it kind of varies in color. And it's really, it can get really pretty.
That's awesome.
With like the straight milled stuff, and it's all uniform in color, and it's still nice. But if you get a live edge piece, it's got like lots more color, and it's really pretty.
That's good.
Nice.
All right. Next question. Number 4. Hand plane or hand drill?
Oh, a nice hand plane that gives you like the beautiful curl. Like really nice, sharpened and fine tuned. Yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Through the little shaving that it gives. Yeah. It's not the way.
Jody's going to pop into the chat any second now. He has a collection of hand planers and he loves those things. So nice. Question number 5. Screws or dovetails?
There's nothing like a hand done dovetail. The screws are so much faster for production.
I just got to say, your reaction to that question was like the ultimate woodworker response. Like most people be like, I don't know, like probably. But you're like, oh.
Yeah.
I meant it in a good way. It was awesome to like. That's dedication and commitment right there.
Lee says hot glue. You're banned. Oh man! All right.
Let's move on.
Question.
Question number 6.
All right. You want to ask this one, or you want me to ask this one?
Yeah, you got the dovetail question. You got the big.
Okay. Yes,
Yeah.
you get the answer. Yeah.
All right. Ron Swanson or Tim the Toolman Taylor?
Oh man, I grew up with Tim the Toolman Taylor. We were just talking about it the other day. It's probably what introduced me to woodworking. No, that's not true. Some old guy when I was a kid did, but
I would say that there's probably generationally more Toolman fans out there, but I think Ron had a bigger impact, like lately.
Yeah, probably.
I don't know how many people I've seen in their shop with the pyramid of Ron.
Yes. No, I'm sorry. That's the wrong answer. All right. My son does a much better Ron Swanson than I do. Next one. Number 7. Pocket holes or not pocket holes?
Oh, pocket holes are amazing in the right application.
Oh. So
that sounds like an asterisk on that answer.
You just roll around everywhere, then they're, But if you're trying to make something quicker, like if you got some like a plywood case good or whatever, and you don't necessarily have the time to do even just rabbets or whatever, just pocket screw it together. And then it's pretty strong so long as you have them in the right places and you're using the right size screws.
I feel like pocket holes amongst woodworkers is kind of like walking into a tech group and saying like Mac or Windows, or I feel like that's another polarizing one.
It's the artisan woodworking versus the commercial being able to make things in a short enough time that people still pay for them. So
getting paid's nice.
Yeah, charging at like $5,000 for a nightstand because you hand cut all of the dovetails on the corners. It just in a commercial setting just doesn't work. But there is a place for it in some of those niche markets and like really fine high end stuff.
That makes sense.
Nice. Pins or dovetails first? Pins or tails first? That's what Dave asks.
Pins or tails?
Tails always first. That's what Erica says.
It's been a long time since I made some dovetails. I don't even remember anymore.
It's all right. Yeah, Joseph is asking Apple or Windows, so he's still stuck in the.
I can't even answer that one. My dad worked as a Mac technician my whole life, and now I have a Windows machine because that's what I have for work. So I'm kind of like.
we're not gonna get into that conversation.
I still use Windows.
Let's do. We're almost up, so we're gonna do one more. Would you rather? And this is maybe the most important one. So all right, so limber up. You ready?
Okay.
Ready? Yep. Ready? Aaron or Goose?
Oh gosh.
That's not one of the questions.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Together, I'll pick both of you.
Listen, Aaron. I have my hand on the button, so don't even.
Yeah, I got nothing. I really can't. I can't do anything over here. I got no buttons to do anything. Okay, how about
you guys that well? That maybe I can choose.
All right, how about? I'll do this instead.
Okay.
Headboard or mantle?
A really funky, cool mantle because more people see it when they come in your house. Not as many people get to go into your bedroom and be like, "Oh, it's a beautiful headboard." The bedroom isn't necessarily on display, although it is really nice to have a gorgeous headboard.
Nice.
But a really cool like centerpiece above your fireplace is really nice.
That is.
Nice. Oh, can you do me a favor? I see that there's a little piece of woodworking behind you, like a little. Yeah. What do you got? What do you got back there?
It is the scale model of my final project in school.
Oh.
I had to make a little scale model. And so this is it. My dad kept it.
Aww.
A+.
And maybe it'll go to my kids someday for their dolls. I don't know. Got like a whole like Cooper seat and everything.
Nice. What kind of wood is that? You remember?
Maple.
Maple. Nice.
Yeah. I think so.
All right.
It's so old.
Well, thanks for playing Would You Rather with us today. I think, yes, bravo.
You won, I think.
Yay.
Yeah, you were the winner.
Oh, man.
Yeah, a squirrel could sitting in that chair. It's about the right size.
Well, we're getting close to the presentation part of our show today. So let's get into a little bit of housekeeping before we get into that. Remember, everyone, that ask a question down below where it says ask a question. There's currently 9 questions there. If you have something that you want to ask Katie at the end, add it there. If you see a question there that already is like someone's already got you, then just give them an upvote, help them out, bubble those up to the top so that those questions get asked. And then at the end of the presentation, at the end of the show, we want everyone to meet Katie in the Fireside Lounge to ask questions that maybe didn't get answered during the show. Did I miss anything?
I think you got everything. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. At this point, we just hand it over and get out of your way. So, ladies and gentlemen, Katie Mcilveen.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, man. Hopefully we get this stuff ironed out by the 8th episode, right?
Maybe.
Words. All right. The stage is yours, Katie.
All right. I will start my screen sharing.
Bye.
There we go. Good slides. All right. There we go. Get my notes. Good afternoon. I hope you're all well and ready to dive into some metaphysics. I'm just kidding, kind of.
What?
Just going to get philosophical. A little bit more about me to start off. I'm Katie, obviously. I'm a mother of 4 and a lover of absolutely anything creative. I also really love nature and the outdoors. And living where we do on Vancouver Island, there is tons of hiking and lakes and biking and forests and beaches, and I just love it. Appropriately enough, for a fireside chat, sticking with the camping theme, the 6 of us are currently living in a large fifth wheel. We're supposed to be kicking off a North America-wide road trip this summer, but COVID wrecked it all, so we're staying put for the time being. But we're getting really good at living in a small space, getting creative with some of those woodworking projects. So we actually just got a 3D printer, and we're trying to figure out where the heck to put it. It might end up living like in the basement somewhere. I don't even know. I fell in love with furniture design and woodworking in woodshop class in high school. I went to take home ec and it was full. And my only other option was ironically computers and woodworking. And I didn't want to do computers, which is ironic because now that's all I do. And the teacher assigned a jewelry box and I said it was too boring. So I made a dresser instead. And I still have it. It's great. I took a woodworking and furniture design course in college and have been working for Live Edge Design for 15 years. It's a great place. The people are fantastic, and it's a really wonderful canvas for creativity. I get to do so many different types of things. It's just, I really love that part of it. I started in the wood shop, and then I cut off the top of my finger. I don't know if you can see the nail. It's kind of curving sideways. I can't see myself, so I have no idea whether that was on camera or not.
Which finger was that?
Yeah, that's
yeah,
a nice. It's like a 20-degree angle cut.
Yeah, there, something like that. It's I have feeling in it again, so that's good.
That's a plus.
Okay, all right.
I got married shortly after that, and then moved into the drafting department shortly after that. I started with a big old drafting board, pencils and a T-square, and drew everything by hand, and then moved to AutoCAD for a year or so after that, and then switched to 3D modeling when we discovered SketchUp in February of 2008. And I still remember that day so vividly. And I was talking to my coworker, Donna, the other day, and she said she remembers it too, because like our eyes like lit up with all of the possibilities. It was very exciting. That picture on the screen is the very first thing I ever drew to sell my boss on switching away from AutoCAD.
Nice.
That's sweet.
Yeah. So we at Live Edge have produced somewhere in the ballpark of 10,000-ish pieces of custom furniture, probably more because there's multiples for places like hotels that have lots of rooms and stuff, and that translates into somewhere around 8,000 drawings, of which I've personally done probably around 6,000-ish.
So you'd call yourself an intermediate user then?
I don't know. I don't do some of the super crazy fancy stuff, but I'm fast, so I don't know.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It would take way too long to figure out exactly how many it was, so I just didn't.
For Ka'anapali Beach, did you get to go to Hawaii to help put those in?
I didn't. Personally, a few of the staff did get to go, like for the initial consults and like to figure stuff out and to check on, or was it? Yeah, a few people have gone. I haven't gotten to go yet, but maybe someday.
Maybe next year.
I've never been to Hawaii yet, so.
That's a great place to go. Go there.
Yeah, I've heard it's absolutely gorgeous.
That is awesome.
Yes. Just a quick screenshot of one of the drawings folders. A lot of tables, mostly tables. That's our specialty. But we basically will build anything, which is the fun part. All right, enough about me. In my session, I'll be talking about the creative process as it applies to custom woodworking, using SketchUp and layout as our tools of choice, and all the way from infancy to its final form. Provided we get to its final form, I'm hoping that I'll be able to model fast enough. All right. So ideas begin as like a spark just fluttering through somebody's consciousness and then landing and then growing into something more. It can be triggered by a word or an image flashing across somebody's mind, a landscape that you pass, or a shape that inspires and then it blossoms into something more. And that is the fun part, is turning something that's just like a rough set of lines, something abstract, or a written description, into something more, something that can be touched and held or used. To turn just mere thoughts into something tangible, we humans have been given an incredible gift, the ability to create. We can use various tools to extract the abstract, intangible thoughts, and we can draw them and mold them and write them out in words, like a description of what we would want it to look like or feel like or smell like. So in our industry, we draw it. So many ideas around here anyway. They start as a hand-drawn sketch or a concept image. We get them from designers, from homeowners, from one of our design team when we have brainstorming sessions. This particular table was our contribution to a collaboration exhibit called One Tree, with an art gallery down in Victoria called the Robert Bateman Center. My boss, John, had its brainchild of a solid single slab table that looks like it had been bent up and around, with the wood grain flowing all the way up one leg and across and down the other. There was lots of working out of fun angles and some very skilled woodworkers, and we made it happen. The One Tree exhibit was a lot of fun because we had a whole bunch of artists and see how many pieces of art and furniture we can get out of a single tree. And in this case, it was a walnut tree.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really fun. I think that was the second or third. Yeah, we've done several of them. Anyway, it's fun. In this case, I did an original concept sketch for the design back in 2007, and then turned it into a CAD drawing before we used SketchUp.
Where's my ant button?
I didn't use CAD. That's what I was originally trained in anyway. We only made a couple, but then several years later, somebody wanted a few more, and the drawings were really old and didn't really match. Like, I like everything to, like, we present a drawing set to clients, I like everything to kind of look cohesive and similar, but these ones were so old, so I gave them a facelift and put them into SketchUp.
Much better.
It was successful. At least, yeah, then I could have a 3D view of it. With something like a chair with all of the scoops and curves and things, it's so much easier for people to visualize the final product when they can see a good isometric view of it. All right, so imagination is the beginning of creation. You imagine what you desire, and you will what you imagine, and last you create what you will. And I think this quote is particularly on point, because without an imagination and a will, how can we move from the abstract to the physical?
How can we have blueberry-powered cars?
Exactly. If you never have that idea, you don't know, you can't make it, and you have to really want it. So if we're really honest, if you don't want to do something, it's not going to get done to its full capability. I have children. That's very true. They're like, I don't want to do work. Like, I know you don't, but you have to. And so I have to make them want to by bribing them with candy, which does work.
Reality.
Yes, exactly. Where was I? There we go. A desire. Desire drives us to do so many things, and so why not channel it into something creative or something beautiful, something functional, something that could possibly last beyond our short years that we've been granted on this planet. I've always been inspired by the Antiques Roadshow. Seeing like those super crazy old pieces that they're like, this is 300 years old, and the person's like, oh my goodness, I didn't know it was that old. But it's still a functional piece of furniture, and that just amazes me. Because it's almost like the person left a bit of themselves for people to remember them by, because it lasts. If you make it well, then it'll last. Anyway, it's a lot of fun. This one was one of my favorites, not necessarily as a furniture piece, but as a concept to reality. The client sent us a photo of the space being renovated and asked us to come up with a stylized tree. That's really all they gave us. So I printed out the photo and drew directly over top of it. I got the clients to take some accurate measurements of the space, and then I imported it into SketchUp, scaled it so that it was that background, that like gray background, and the one in the middle is exactly the size of the wall that it was to be going on. And then got the size of the fireplace correct and stuff like that. And then they approved the style. So I actually ended up printing out the shape of the tree this is before we had a CNC machine, like full scale on like 400 pieces of paper.
Oh, wow.
And put it together on the shipping bay floor, and then like cut it out with scissors. And,
Oh my gosh.
gave all of these paper templates to the woodworker Todd, who is incredibly talented, and he used them to cut out the shape. And he sculpted it, and he brought it to life, and then it went in and it fit, like everything fit beautifully. And they're just like, the clients were super thrilled, and it just turned out so perfect that it's going to probably last as one of my favorites.
Hey, real quick, Katie, you mentioned CNC. How much work do you do that's CNC versus hand cut nowadays?
We're moving a little bit more to the CNC because we only just got one last year. It was like kind of just up and running this time last year. So we're moving into doing some more of the cutting with the CNC. Like we do a lot of, well, we used to do them out of glass, but we're moving to polycarbonate because it's less breakable. When we ship all over the world, the glass always comes broken. So we're starting to do the cutting out of those rivers and stuff with the CNC. And some of these funky shaped things, then yeah, we'll send the files to the guys over in they're in the same building. They're just like in the bay next door, to get it cut out there. And then I can't remember what program they use. I think they might use AutoCAD. So we export it as a DXF, and then they import it into there and do all of their tool paths and stuff with the program that they have at the CNC. So not as much as we could use it for, but we're definitely starting to use it more as we learn its capabilities. And it's one of those, oh goodness, 5-axis. It can go like all over the place. It's really cool. It was very exciting when it arrived. It took months to set up, but it was very exciting. All right, so at Live Edge, one of the things that sets us apart is that we source all of our trees and logs locally whenever possible, and then mill them ourselves on site to ensure the quality that our clients have come to love and expect. And then we photograph. Part of the key for what I end up doing with the slabs is that every slab is photographed so that people can, like the salespeople can present viable options of slabs, and people can pick their own wood. Pre-COVID, people used to come into the shop if they were able and like literally go through the library of slabs. And we have, oh goodness, 100, one of the guys that's washing probably can help me out, several hundred slabs in like this vertical library, as well as digitally. So then we import the photographs into SketchUp and then trace the live edge to really bring it to life. And then the final drawing that people end up with is a lot more accurate to what they will actually end up with, because the live edge slabs every one of them are so different. If I just threw something generic on there, it kind of gives a good impression. But when you got something that's really wild, it's hard to picture what that final piece will look like if you just have like a rectangular top on there. So we use the actual wood just to make things come alive.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So onto the more technical stuff. To produce a good looking detailed working drawings in as short a time as possible, because we can't just take forever on it. We use a preset up template that we've made in Layout that has all the preset viewports that corresponds to all of the preset up scenes in our SketchUp template. And I will show you a bit more of that in the live modeling. So everything is set to the most frequently used scale, which I think is 3/4 inch. Don't quote me on that. It's all preset up. I don't have to set it. If it's wrong, and I just adjust it later. So every time we draw something new, we just have to make sure things are all in the right tags. And
hey.
It's like every day. I still say that. I don't know if I'm ever going to get used to it. It's been like 12 years. Everything's on the right tags and placed near the origin so that they end up where they're supposed to on the layout. And we have a whole bunch of pre-made scenes in SketchUp, including isometric and parallel projections, and front and side and top views, section cut, exploded views, one for isolated drawer boxes or case goods, hardware bases. So everything lines up within the layout template where it's supposed to. So a comprehensive and detailed set of working plans is really the main key to success when doing a good woodworking project, especially when you're not the person making it. So it's a little bit easier you model your thing in SketchUp, and then you kind of do some working plans, but you're the one who modeled it, so you know how it all goes together anyway. But like in our case, there's like half a dozen or more people in the shop that are going to be working off of these plans, and I work remotely. So I'm only up actually at the office maybe one day a week. So they need to be able to have all of the information that they need to build these pieces without me saying, this is what this means. So
wow,
really complicated pieces like this one, I like to do a page near the beginning, the one on the far bottom left. Oh, I don't know if you can see my cursor. This one.
No.
Oh, okay. Well, bottom left, the one
Bottom
with
left. We got it.
It's all kind of like, blown up into its sub-assemblies. So each of the parts is labeled with which sheet of the drawings they're to reference for how to build it. That way, if there's multiple people working on it, which there frequently is, especially with pieces that have lots of parts, everybody can have their own section, but it'll still all come together nicely because the whole thing was a single model to start off with. There's lots of times when I'll get drawings from designers that have only been done in 2D, and they're excellent concept. They get the idea across or whatever, but then I'll start piecing all of the elevations and plans together, and not everything will jive because it wasn't made from a single model. It was okay, well, here's the plan. All right, this is probably what it'll look like from the front. And inevitably some things end up getting missed, especially when people are under a time crunch. So working all of your elevations and views from a single model just means that there's less likely that there's going to be a mistake. And now that layout, was it like 4 years ago when it was, when the dimensions were like turned into auto updating? Mm-hmm. That was the best day ever. Yeah. I remember seeing that come out in an update, and I was like, "That's yes!" Because especially in the custom woodworking world, people change things a lot. And you'll present the first working drawings, and they'll be like, "Oh, it's beautiful, but I want it like 6 inches taller and like 4 inches shorter." I'm like, okay, I'll fix that in the model, and then I'll go up and update every single dimension. But now they follow everything because they're attached, and it's amazing. Anyway, nice. That was a little bit of a segue.
You're getting some comments here. Also, people love your drawings. They're so beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
All right. So that's, how much time do I have left to actually live model?
Oh yeah, you got
enough. Go ahead. Dive in.
Let me ask. I'll ask production. Actually, you got about 15 minutes.
Okay. I'll do my best. Did you guys do the poll for what people wanted me to draw?
Poll at the very end.
No,
poll for what?
Oh, Erin, you were supposed to do the poll. Okay, people, in the comments really quick, I can either draw a table with a glass river down the middle, a coffee table that has some drawer storage in it or something like that, or like a sideboard with some doors and storage adjustable.
All right. So let me write these down here. You said table with a river, river, or what was that?
Let's do it. Let's just do the table. Go for it.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, let's just do it.
I don't want you to run out of time. I want to. I know what being under the gun live modeling feels like. You just get in there.
Sideboard get a lot of votes though.
It's probably. I'll just do a table. It's probably what I can do the fastest anyway.
Okay. All right.
Can you live modeling?
Yes, we can.
Okay. So when I'm doing a table, I typically just start off with a rectangle on the floor because that's what's most tops will just start off as. And then I import my slabs and I will paste them onto the surface of that. And then I don't know if you can see that. I know that it's always written on the face of the slab how long it is, and that's what I use to scale it. So this one is 142 and a half. Mm-hmm. So then I'll just grab this, do 142.5, enter, and that'll give me my length of, my pins are fixed, of how long to make this image so that it's actually accurate. So that's pretty close. The one end of it here is kind of cut at a bit of an angle, but that's pretty darn close. So then I know that I can use this as 1/2 of my tabletop. What should I use? I should use that one as the river. That's kind of pretty. Okay, so let's make this table something realistic. Let's make it 90. Let's go 94 inches long. And put it over there. So this will be 1/2 of my tabletop.
Mm-hmm.
Make it a component, top half 1. I don't really care about spelling right now. I'm going to be trying to go too fast.
That's my favorite way to use SketchUp.
Quick and dirty. Okay, make unique as top half number 2. And then I can go in and I can import my other slab image. And then I have to scale this one too. This one's 98.5, 98.5. And I can go in and I can position it.
That is so cool. I've never seen anybody use guides like that to position. Oh, yeah? That is so cool.
It's so handy, so quick.
I mentioned this when we met on Monday. I'm totally stealing your content for my own videos. So
go for it.
Very nice.
And if I'm doing too many keyboard shortcuts and you don't know what tools I'm using, just let me know. Okay, so freehand. What is it called? Free. Yeah, free.
That's right.
F on my keyboard. And then I go and I trace the live edge. So all I can see the floor here, and then the lighter color on the surface here is that top surface. So anything in between is basically going away from at an angle. So this is where soap skin bubble is going to come in, and my line is probably not going to be very good because I'm going too fast. I don't have that much time.
We'll let that be. That's okay.
I want to be able to get to the layout templates because
yes, you do.
They're the key and the fast part. Okay, and then I want to make sure that this texture is projected because then I can use it for my live edge texture in a minute without it being all chunky. Okay, I picked a not too bad one. Oh,
nice. So it's important to have an image where that edge is visible all the way.
Yes, exactly. If it's not, then I know that I'll see if I can find a good example in a minute if I have time. Sometimes if you can't see that live edge, then you know that it's diving the other direction. And then you can look at the other side of the slab. That's a good example. So you can't really see much of it on this edge, which corresponds to this side. Mm-hmm. So that live edge is pretty straight, which is why I didn't choose it for this because I wanted to choose something that actually had some life to it. All right, so there's several ways in which I create this live edge. The fastest way, if I'm really in a time crunch and it's not super interesting, or if it's fairly flat, I will just grab the face and move it up. Usually they're 2 inches. That way it kind of fills in the live edge itself. But then it's fairly uniformly angled. Right. So it looks okay. It's not terrible. It serves its purpose.
Well, realistically, though, I mean, you're talking about getting a very organic, I'm going to use the term messy piece of material into SketchUp. So, I mean, that's
yeah, exactly.
That's awesome. I mean, considering if you didn't have to talk to us so much, that would have been what, like a minute and a half worth of work?
Yeah, maybe 2 or 3. It depends on how wild the live edge is. If it's really funky, then I have to kind of go back a little bit because my mouse ends up jutting where it's not supposed to or whatever. Okay, so then the other way to get some of those really crazy ones, because like if I was just going to grab the top surface and move this up, you'll see in a second, it's not going to look pretty.
And we just had a question come through. Are you doing this all with just your mouse right now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. So then this is another shortcut extension that I use all the time, which is weld. So because I had to do that in several chunks, which I did the other one too, but I didn't actually weld it. I should have. Select the whole line and weld it together so that when you select it, it is a continuous line. It just makes for everything going smoother down the line. Okay, I'm gonna do
That's a native command now.
weld?
Yeah.
Is it?
It is in the right-click menu. It's called Weld Edges.
Oh, I didn't know that.
We like to make sure everybody who comes to this learns something.
Yeah. I've just used it. I've used the weld extension for so long that I didn't even think. All right. So if I was to just take this top surface and move it up again, see that? See this right here?
Mm-hmm.
Just is not cooperating. I want it to be kind of dished. So rather than attempting to like manually move a whole bunch of facets and do that, I'm just going to delete it entirely. I'm going to weld this line first. Okay, and then select my framework that I want to. Nothing else is selected, I don't think. Soap skin bubble, your best friend. I usually like to have approximately, how long do they make this thing? 94, 96, 94. I can't remember. I usually like to have approximately 1 inch square.
Wow.
Or like, because it gives me more adjustability and more accuracy. Oh, except I didn't actually. Hold on, step back. I'm supposed to move this up first. There we go. That's better. And only because I know the actual slab has that there, I'm going to do these in 2 separate meshes. So this one I'll make like that, and then you can select your mesh, go down to your bubble pressure, and it seems to be a little bit different every time. Oh no, that's okay. I want to go minus. Let's go minus 500.
I'm pretty sure that it's the opposite of whatever you type in first.
Yeah, generally. I don't know which way it's going to go. I just try something, and if it doesn't go the right way, then that's fine. I'm going to go more. Let's go 800. Okay, that looks better.
Nice.
Okay, and then I'll go in and explode that in a minute, but I want to do my other one first. Skin on to 6, enter, enter. Okay, that looks pretty good. So this has got a lot more life to it. Except this corner didn't come down like it was supposed to. Oh, there you go. I'm human. Things do funky things sometimes. That one was supposed to... Oh, it was because I welded that corner by accident. My bad. Let's try that again. No. How much time do I have left?
Plenty.
There we go. That's better. Okay, so now you can see it has a much more lifelike feel to it. It's got this dip in here that goes into that valley, and it just looks and feels much more natural. Okay, then we would go in and select it all, soften, smooth all of those edges. I do this before I explode it, because that way I can just select absolutely everything, just move this way up, and know that these lines are going to stay crisp.
Nice.
Without losing that. But I do want to explode them now, because then I can make sure that they are actually part of my piece. Did I make that projected? No, not yet. Okay, and I can paste it in there. I can soften, smooth these lines out. And we have a gorgeous live edge.
That is awesome.
Yeah. And then make the rest of the...
It is so cool to get to see somebody like master of their workflow share what they do, because that is, I mean, you make it look flawless too. You just flew through that. It's so cool.
It's a lot of practice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want it 40 inches wide overall, so I'm going to make this one just a little bit bigger. There we go. So it's going to be, that's a really wide river, but that's okay. Actually, no, maybe I'll make it a little bit narrower, because in real life, we probably wouldn't span that. Let's make that a little bit. I have room in the slabs to be able to do that. So there we go. That's a little bit more realistic.
Nice.
Okay. So then to get that glass piece, this is when I should have welded this earlier, but I didn't. I grab that line, copy it. I go paste in place. Paste in place is also my best friend.
But why do you not have a shortcut for paste in place?
I don't know. Actually, I should just switch Control V to paste in place because I use it far more frequently than just plain old paste.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a good question.
Hey, like I said, opportunity to learn, you know.
Yeah. All right. So then I'm just offsetting that line by about 1/2 inch. And then I can get rid of that original line. So the glass sits on a ledge because otherwise it would just fall through. So I'm offsetting it by 1/2 inch or so.
Oh, and Katie, we got about 15 minutes left.
Oh, okay. I think we're doing all right.
All right.
Okay, get rid of my extra little lines there. And I'm just closing in this loop so that we can turn it into a piece of glass. And I probably don't have time to put a bottom with rocks in it, but we quite often will have a, I've got a face that doesn't have any color on it. Face will have rocks in it. Okay, this is my polycarbonate. And it is 3/8 of an inch thick. 3/8. And I can give it my glass color here. And there's that. So then I want this to be actually recessed in there. And you can do that one of 2 ways, one of which is the solid tools, so long as things are actually solid. I have the solid inspector. Yes, it doesn't always like because I use soapskin bubble.
Whoops.
Yeah,
There's your problem.
It tried to fix it for me. I think it deleted it. Yeah, it doesn't like it. Okay, I'm going to do this the old school way. So you can either take this and intersect it with this and then delete your other geometry. That also gets kind of messy with the live edge bit here. It kind of ends up getting jaggedy. It takes a long time. So the shortcut that I've started to do is I'll take these surface lines and I'll paste them back on here again. Yeah, a shortcut for paste in place eventually. And then I'll just bring that up 3/8 of an inch, which creates my shoulder. But now my whole piece is 3/8 of an inch too tall or too thick. So when I have a bottom face, I can just select the bottom face. I'm not entirely sure where it's gone, but that's okay. See, nothing goes perfectly in live modeling.
No, it's kind of what you plan for.
I want to make sure, actually, let's go to my, I want to make sure that I have only that bottom edge selected, and then I can move it up 3. Oh, that's messy.
Yeah, there's some stuff happened.
There's some, no, this wasn't supposed to happen.
This is the first time this has ever happened.
That's right.
Probably just going to be 2 3/8 inch thick for today because I don't have time to fix it.
No, that's cool. I wouldn't, honestly, I would have probably muscled through and intersect with selected and gone through and drawn a bunch of new faces and injured
really
myself.
Super bugging why it's not closed. Why is it not a closed face? Okay, if I have time, I'll fix it later, but otherwise I'm just going to ignore it. Okay, so there's my tabletop. I'm going to make that a component, call it a complete top. And I know that my table is supposed to be 30 inches high, so I'll bring it down to the origin just so that I can easily do this through 30 inches without doing some math. And then another thing that we've done to speed up some workflow stuff is that we have our own component library. So we've got bases, electrical, feet, hardware, miscellaneous, where there's like mattresses and pillows and props and stuff, screws and fasteners, seating, tops, basically a little bit of everything so that we can quickly create anything, aside from like the super custom stuff. So I don't know, what type of table should we make? We've got lots of different styles. Blackham is the most common, but it's also kind of boring. Let's see, there's gorge. Let's do a gorge.
Oh yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, let's do that one. So I then can grab it. Of course, I don't really have a center line to go from on my live edge tops because it's in too many pieces. But I know it's 40 inches wide, so I'm going to go 20. And I usually know, I know for this length table that the legs go about 16 inches back. And then I can use there's another one I use a lot is the mirror tool. What's it called? Keurig?
Keurig mirror.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, so then I've got a complete table. So then the next step for me is to just make sure that all of my preset scenes look the way that they're supposed to.
And this is all, these are all part of the template you started drawing with, correct?
Yes, correct. We've had this set up ages ago. Okay, so then I've got this specific scene is called glass, which we've since moved to polycarbonate, but I'm going to paste in place our piece of polycarbonate and put it on these are pre-set up tags as well.
Wow. Just rub it in my face, Katie.
I have to try. If I don't think about it, it's just gonna.
Hey, if we help one user with that, then it's all worth it.
There you go. Yeah. Okay.
Namely Aaron.
Yeah. Oh yeah, of course. That's who I was thinking of.
Okay, so I'm grabbing my slabs. Where did they go? Come on. There we go. Except I don't want them inside the component. I want them there. Okay. And then where's my styles? My style is supposed to be preset to textures. I can't see the textures. I'll hide all of that because I use these for my slab layout for the shop. Because they need to know what portion of the slab to use.
Mm-hmm.
Because each piece is so unique, if they don't know what part of the slab that they're supposed to use, then they could make it out of any part of it, and it would look completely different to what the customer originally agreed to. So
mess up your polycarb cutting too, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I go in there and I take that projected image and project it on a plane below, put all of this on our, slab layout tag, just about to say so close. Okay, and then I usually I could probably do this with fog, but I've never really mastered the fog. I don't really know why. Oops, wrong one. Yeah, it's just not something. If anybody's really good at using fog out there, I will take your tips. What am I doing? Reverse faces. There we go. Okay, so then once I go to my slab layout, into my scenes or style back, update. Then the slab image is kind of grayed out in the background, and the pieces that they're supposed to be using are it makes them pop, which is kind of nice for the shop. We print that page in color so that they know what they're doing. I'll do a quick component, chairs, or seating. Let's do these ones. Sure, let's do a rainforest chair. Actually, let's do a rainforest light because I like those ones better. Okay, there we go. Okay, then I'll put a few chairs around the table so that the clients can have a concept of how many people they can seat. It's usually 22 to 24 inches between or center to center on the chairs. And then not going to work as nicely. I can go off the base. There we go. If I have a lot of pieces that I want to select and they're getting kind of awkward, I have selection toys. That's another good extension actually as well. So I can select only the instances that I want. So that's another handy one.
Selection toys is one of the best. We're coming up on about 5 minutes left, Katie.
Okay, I'll send it to layout. Send to layout. Oh, I gotta save it first. Sure. I don't really care. All right, so then it automatically populates all of those viewports within layout. So I've got a preset top and front view. It's got all of my labels on there already, end and section if section applies. And I go through each of these and delete the ones that don't apply. Oh, my chairs are funky. Ignore the funky chairs. There's my slab image page, which I'll probably make a little bit bigger, leg details, which I'd have to go in and hide the top because I forgot. Glass details, because there isn't rocks in this one, I would go and I would delete those. If there is power in there, then in that case, we use scrapbooks. And we have made our own, where is it? Power ports and electrical. So we've created our own like sticker library of the most commonly used power units that we get. So typically, if anything that I've stuck in that model will correspond to one of these pages. And then it's got all of the installation instructions and everything on there too. So then I could drag in each of the little bits from here, or I could just hit edit, copy everything, and then paste it on this page here. If a piece has drawers, then I just have to update this viewport right here to the appropriate scene. Well, actually, I should have it all set up in the first place. So the drawer would end up here by itself, just like the base does. And then finally an exploded view, which I didn't actually do in the model because I didn't have time.
But that is incredible. I mean, the way that you have your templates set up, both combination of templates here in SketchUp and then your templates over in Layout, means that your drawing was done when you came, or not done. I mean, but
I still have to do all the dimensioning and general kind of positioning, but I don't have to do any importing, and it saves so much time to be able to not have to go in and relink or find everything. And
right.
it takes, I don't know, probably over the course of the weeks, like just hours and hours of time saved.
That is just, I mean, it's amazing.
It's lined up already.
Yeah.
So then I'd go through, if the table's too long to fit on that view, then I would use like just the top, front, and the end. Or if it's a table that looks like it could probably fit all on the same page, then I would just use the same page. And all of our dimensioning stuff is all like the style of them is all preset so that it's the right sizing and the right font and everything like that. I mean, that's generally the way it's supposed to be. But then you can still, there's some things that I don't really want it to be 64th for that. So I just bump it up to 8th where necessary. But it doesn't take that long to just go in and throw in all of your necessary measurements.
That's awesome.
The other thing that's come in really handy over these last version or two was the auto text, being able to actually put other stuff in there without it ruining your the dimensioning auto text. I've found that invaluable to be able to just put like approximately or typical or all those things that you want to be able to throw in there, but you don't want to override your measurements. But yeah, so there's probably the fastest, nastiest working drawings of a table that you've ever seen.
I guarantee I could do nastier, messier things than that.
Oh man.
Yeah, then once everything's all nicely dimensioned and cleaned up and I've gotten rid of the pages that don't apply, like I don't actually have power in this one, so I can go delete that one. I don't have drawers in it, so I can go delete that one. My cover page probably should be a little bit better. Oh, that was one little thing that I was going to say. It's generally a bit of a no-no to do dimensioning in SketchUp, but the only time that I actually bend that rule is for dimensioning really quick on the first page on our 3D view. Oh, I didn't quite make it because it was 3/8. Oh, well, whatever. It was supposed to be 30 inches high. That's okay. So I put my 3D dimensions on a specific visible on 3D view only so that they don't show up anywhere else. They are literally just for when the customer receives this, the first thing that they see, they can see right away that we've got the table the right size. And not everybody actually goes and looks at the other views. especially if they've like never looked at plans before. They're like, I think I know what I'm looking at, but they have a bit more difficulty translating some of it.
3D is important for sure.
Yeah. So I'll throw labels on there, and this will be like, this is the gorge base with rock, and this is Western maple, river top. And then I have to update a few things. I got to put my initials on it and client names and work orders and stuff. But so they're all fields that I can edit, but they are on every page. So I only have to change it on one page, and then it's on all of them. And then I update this to match my drawing page list over there, and then it's done.
That's so cool.
I did it.
Amazing.
You did it.
Amazing.
All right, so
Well,
all right, we got about 10 minutes to throw a couple of questions at you.
Okay.
So we'll try to get a couple of these. So not that I'm going to ask you to be, hurry through answers, but maybe concise.
Okay.
Because we wanted to see all that. No regrets. That was awesome. So do you do mortise and tenon modeling in your models?
I have, yes. And I do,
Okay.
yeah. When we actually do them, yes.
Do you have any as far as retaining the component structure of the mortised objects?
That's a good question, because when you use solid tools, of course, I'm not screen sharing anymore, that's okay. When you use solid tools, it's kind of annoying. P.S. Can you tell the developers to make it so it doesn't turn things into groups?
I know.
I'm not a big fan of groups. I basically only ever use components because then they're in that list and you can drag them back in. Right. Like you accidentally delete a group and it's gone. And
have you looked at the extension Enerot's solid tools?
No, I haven't.
Okay, well then I'm going to throw this out both for you, Katie, and for I'm sorry, I forgot who asked the question.
Dave just mentioned it. Dave
it was Mark. Yes, Enerot solid tools will maintain component structure. So check that out. So,
that's probably one of the main reasons why I don't typically use it to intersect the glass with the live edge pieces, because I've already made the components and named them and everything, and then it turns them into groups. And I have to go and like remake and overwrite the old ones, and it's just an extra step that's kind of annoying.
All right. Good. Yeah. All right. All right. Another question. How does your process change? Mike is asking, how does your process change between designing site furniture versus home furniture and cabinetry?
Oh, I'd say that home furniture, so you see home furniture versus site furniture is in like stuff going into a commercial space.
That was what I got out of the question.
Yeah, that's what I get. Okay. So home furniture typically has slightly less rigorous, what's the term? Like it doesn't get as much wear and tear, or it doesn't get as much abuse. Mm-hmm. So it's still made to the same level of quality, but doesn't have to withstand, I don't know, being repeatedly dragged around, or like people sit on things that are not meant to be sat on in commercial or hospitality settings. So we generally have to kind of beef up the hospitality and the commercial stuff to be able to withstand more than a typical piece of furniture. But also on that, like if there's something with drawers going to a hotel where there's a lot of pieces and they're wanting to buy, I don't know, 100 rooms worth of stuff and trying to keep the price point down, we'll do like a rabbited drawer box instead of getting the dovetail drawer boxes. There's a company just in Vancouver that makes dovetail drawer boxes. We just give them the dimensions and then they get them the drawer boxes. It's beautiful. So they both will probably still last the same amount of time, but the homeowner will appreciate the dovetail drawer much more than a commercial setting. And the price point just isn't there with the commercial setting to be able to do that fine details. Does that answer it?
That's perfect.
I hate to be the party pooper, but I think it's question time. It's quiz time. Yeah.
Yes.
I know. I'm going to get a bunch of boos in the chat. Like, no, dude, we're absorbing so much information right now. But yes,
just for.
once again, we want you to limber up your fingers. We are going to give away. Aaron has a copy here of Fine Woodworking magazine, a 1-year subscription going to the person who can answer Katie's quiz question. The quiz question is:
which finger did I cut the tip off of?
Go!
Which finger did Katie cut off completely?
Yeah.
Before
This
she
is the
got
most
married. Don't look
morbid
at me. I'm hideous.
I don't think we've ever had. Christina says left middle.
Chris, who is that? Oh goodness, that's really.
Oh, it's so gone. It's already so gone.
Time to scroll.
McWilliam.
Whoa. Yeah.
Left middle. Christian McWilliam said it first in my
Christian.
chat. There you go.
All
But I
right,
can't
bravo.
spell any more than that.
Bravo. And we will double check. We'll look back over to make sure that we were fair. But to our winner, congratulations. You're going to get this awesome magazine courtesy of Fireside Chat Series, Fine Woodworking magazine. And Katie, thank you so much. I don't even know how to use SketchUp, and I learned so much right now.
Yeah,
no, just kidding. I know how to. I can use it a little bit.
You gotta be able to use it a little bit.
That's right.
Good deal.
All right.
Good. Anything else we have time for, Aaron? Are we flat out of time?
We are really up against it. I do have to ask one question because it came up so many times. There was a question about if you use Fibonacci, if you use the golden section, golden rectangle, is that a consideration when you do your design work?
Yes, but probably more unconsciously at this point.
Ooh, she's that good.
Nah, I don't know about that.
I heard the brag in there. That's okay.
I was not meant as that. There's times when it's like, I don't know, I'll look at something later and be like, oh, that fits quite nicely with that rule. But yeah, not really purposefully, but yes, it is a very good rule.
It's a consideration in there.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It makes things
we have, you know what? We're all out of time. Everyone, one last round of applause for our guest today. Everyone, I mean, if you learned something, if you didn't learn something, you weren't watching. That's
right. All right, so just a reminder, everybody, Katie's going to head out of here, but she's going to head over to our forum, and she's going to answer questions. I know we had a bunch of questions we weren't able to get to, unfortunately, but take your questions over to the forum, ask them there, and Katie will do her best to answer them there. So once again, thank you, Katie. Thanks for spending time with us, and thanks for learning us so good.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Awesome, man. Wow. There was so much information packed into that one little.
I don't want to put too much pressure on the people who are still going to present. John Brock next week, and then Liam Keating the week after. But these just keep getting better and better.
You boys better up your game a little bit.
Yeah, sorry guys. This is whatever you got to do to go to next level. It's time. So yeah.
Oh, well, Aaron, you hear that? It looks like the sun is setting on yet another beautiful episode of Fireside Chat Series. Time to get back to the tents. But everyone, thank you for joining us here tonight. Yeah, this was great. It was great to have you interacting with us. Be sure to join us again immediately after this in the forum, and Katie will be answering some more of your questions that we didn't get to today, and we hope that we'll see you this next Wednesday for our next episode.
Right
Aaron,
back here.
will usually, take us out with some words of wisdom.
That's right. I'm stealing words of wisdom from a woodworker by the name of Ron Swanson. Salt water will warp wood, so keep your tears in your eyes where they belong.
Nice. All right, everyone. Ciao.